There's no way in a post-apocalyptic zombie world people are still going to be interested in using cash. No, that's not going to be your currency. Your currency is going to be either food or ammunition or... Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Why Bitcoin podcast, the podcast where we question everything, but mainly why Bitcoin. I'm your host, Jeff, joined with me today, my excellent co-host, Doug. Doug, how you doing?
We'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's not been a fun day.
I think it's been a fun day. Dude, I want to ask, okay, I have a question to ask you first off.
Okay.
Am I a host and you a co-host, or are we two co-hosts, or how does that work? Or are you...
We better be co-hosts, brother.
We're just two co-hosts.
Because I do a lot of editing just to be a co-host.
No, that's what I mean. But would it be like a host and a host, or just two co-hosts?
I think it's just co-hosts.
So okay. Welcome to the Why Bitcoin podcast, the podcast where we co-host everything. But mainly,
no, you ever listen to like a radio show where it's like Bob and Doug in the mornings or whatever the hell it is, you know, like the wacky
Absolutely.
DJs. So they're co-hosts, right? Because they're both part of the thing. So I mean, we could be. I don't know. Never mind. I don't want to go that route. It's weird. I've already fucked it up, dude.
We are co-hosts. Welcome to the Why Bitcoin podcast where we're co-hosted. Okay, dude.
Everything is made up and nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. It's all co-hosted and hosted. It's just the two of us today. I hope you guys are excited about that one. When it's just the two of us, we always have a good time, right?
That's true. We tend to.
Nice.
But we got a good episode today. I mean, it's very timely, very fashionable. It probably won't be by Friday because this. Okay, is it me, or is it because maybe this is my first cycle with Bitcoin? But does it just seem like everything is like amped up to 11 and moving all the time? Like, I just get tired. I got to be honest, dude. Like, I'm, and I know I derailed you already, but like, I just am tired. Like, I'm finding myself just getting off of Twitter. Like, I can't keep up anymore, and I don't want to. It's just like, just tell me when we reach hyper Bitcoinization and let me know, and that's great. You know, otherwise, I'm just going to quietly use my Swan app and stack sats, and I'm not going to get I'm not going to get my underwear in a bunch over Elon or Michael Saylor or energy FUDs or fucking whatever. I'm just done. Like, it's exhausting to have to try to care about this. Just get us to the point where I can just start using Bitcoin as everyday cash, and then it's fine, and I don't care.
Okay, I have an answer to your struggles.
Okay.
I actually tweeted out a specific thing for a person in your situation, saying that if you just want to fast forward to when Bitcoin's at $1 million a pop, then you're missing the whole point. So one thing I would suggest to you is maybe consider not being in a podcast dedicated to talking about the weekly goings on of Bitcoin, because I also am just like, oh man, I can't deal with all this shit right now. Because the truth is, dude, if we were both just regular people, like, I don't know, the people that you've gotten to buy a little bit of Bitcoin, that
regular
is like
normies,
yeah, like, oh, I bought $100 of Bitcoin. I'm not going to look at it for 2 months. Oh, what happened? It screamed up to 60, went down to 30, and now it's back at 60 again.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't happen. But for us, we're so in it. So it's both. It's a blessing and a curse to watch the whole story unfold. You got to just embrace it, dude.
I'm trying. I really am. But man, you just end up. And then you're trying to like this. We'll get to it, I'm sure. By the way, everybody, nothing we say on this program is financial advice. We're getting lazy in that our housekeeping, Jeff. Real lazy.
Well, I think
that was my fault today, but
we barely talk about. I think you only have to say it's not financial advice if we're actually like, we're not even talking financial stuff at all anymore.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen in this show, so I'm just covering bases. But
Okay,
you guys,
fair.
make sure you check out. Oh, Jeff.
Yes.
Check out Jeff's brand new Twitter handle. What was it again?
Yeah, thanks for the shout out.
Yeah.
So I decided to change my Twitter handle. It used to be 7 Foot Fiend for my Twitch days. I've changed it to Y Bitcoin J. In the way we made it, Y Bitcoin underscore, like it's kind of a blank there. So I put in my J. So Y Bitcoin J, and I've put Y Bitcoin in my Twitter handle. So really trying to get the cast out there. Hopefully get some
There you
more
go. There you go.
listeners and
And
spread the word.
you can find me at Bearded Hoddle. And of course, and the show itself is y bit underscore y bitcoin or y bitcoin underscore.
Y Bitcoin underscore.
Yeah, at y bitcoin underscore. And of course, you can also go to y bitcoin. Oh geez, I probably should mute that, huh?
Wow, I'm doing so good on my push to mute things, and then you got stuff screaming
I do.
at you.
Yeah. Okay. So, you can also reach us at whybitcoinpodcast.com. It's not a great website. I'm not proud of it by any means, but it gets the
Dude,
job
it's
done.
it's an awesome website.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right.
It's on the internet.
It's fresh on the internet. Anyways, yeah, man. So
Okay.
everybody check us out. Just say hi. Just connect. I started a new Twitter and I'm only up to like 40 followers. So sure would be cool if I could maybe break 50 at some point.
That would be cool. Hey,
But
we
40's
became
good.
friends because of 50. Yeah.
That's that. Oh my
Dude,
gosh, we did. You're right. We did.
definitely.
I
Okay,
totally forgot
well,
about that.
let me tell you about this then, because did you see, we're just going to talk about stuff now. Do you know who Alberto is on Twitter?
I've seen him pop up in my feed a lot this week, like annoyingly so. So go on.
Okay,
What you
so
got?
I guess he's a pretty prominent pleb in
Okay.
the goings on of Twitter. I think was up to like 10,000 followers or whatever.
Yeah.
And he put his foot down and said, "I'm taking off my laser eyes because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sick of
yeah.
these
That's what this shit
shitcoiners."
was. Yeah. Okay.
So some people gave him flack for taking it off, saying he has no conviction. And he's like, "I really don't give a shit about any of these followers. Like, I'm just going to start again. Follow me if you like me and don't if you don't." So I like that point of view better. So definitely if you like us, follow us. But I don't want to attract people that are just annoying. So
Oh no,
don't follow.
obviously not. Yeah, but I mean, everybody that listens to this podcast is super cool. So I want to be able to talk to them more
Yeah,
directly. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. We are the super coolest of them all.
Yeah. Hey, can we
Okay.
talk about the word pleb for a second and how I
Sure.
don't like its application sometimes? Like it's
Why not?
become this weird. Well, do you know what it comes from, right? It's
I
an
think
actual.
it comes from Rome, doesn't it?
Yes, it's comes from the word plebeian, which is and I'm reading definitions now. General citizens. Try again. Try again, Doug.
And go.
Member of the general citizenry in ancient Rome, as opposed to the privileged patrician class. And I don't
That's
know. It's
us.
just, but is it though? Because I don't know if you've noticed this, and what made me kind of think of it was El Barto there, right? Like there are sort of classes in the Bitcoin maximalist universe. And I'm just kind of free thinking right now. I'm just kind of wiped after a long hot day today. It's been very hot, by the way, in the Midwest, everybody. Also, can I just say this weather needs to get its crap together? Seriously. Like it was beautiful last night, Jeff. Okay. It was super hot all day,
It's
right?
because of all these Bitcoin miners
All these
boiling the
Bitcoin miners.
oceans,
God dang. And
ruining
then
the
like
climate.
and then a front came through at about 3 in the afternoon, and it honest God, dude, it went from like 85 to 60 like in the space of 5 minutes. It was awesome. Like I'm a big boy and I like colder weather. Like my wife is like, we should, when we move, we should go to like Arizona or Florida. I'm like, no, I will die. I will die and be dead. And I don't want that. I want cold. I like cold. I don't even mind. I like it cool. My
Come up to
favorite.
Canada, man.
I mean, I want to be close to Canada so I can slip across the border if I need to. That's my plan. But
As
like
soon as you get across the border, you start seeing igloos and stuff. So we keep it frosty up here.
yeah, man. I really like fall weather. I think sweater weather is like the best. You know, and I don't know, man. I just
I agree with that. Yeah,
I
sweater
don't even
weather
see. I'm
is
just kind
there's
of
nothing
ranting
better.
right now. I'm just
We got a lot
it's
to
been a
talk
rough
about.
day. It's just been a rough day,
It's
man.
a good. Okay, let me warm you up. I got a heart. I don't know if this is heartwarming or just hate against myself, but this is just something that happened. Okay,
Okay, all right,
so this is how I wanted to start this story.
okay,
Me and you have been friends for a fair amount of time. But one
I would say
question.
acquaintances for a long time. I would say friends within the last 6 to 8 months.
Okay, I agree with this statement. In
Okay.
the 6 to 8 months, or in the acquaintance form, I had never come to ask. Oh, you know what? I think I do know the answer to this. But I want to ask you, are you a zombie guy?
Am I a zombie guy? Like,
So, like, like if you have to answer, like, I don't know, are you a guy that likes zombie movies and you're into the
mm,
zombie apocalypse and that sort of stuff?
uh, it's interesting because I hate zombie movies. I don't like scary movies. I've never been a scary movie guy. Um, but I do like the concept of horror in general in terms of how it reflects society, you know? So in from that standpoint, I find zombies to be fascinating because for a long period of time, it's not so much anymore, but that was like the zeitgeist of the culture in terms of what we were afraid
Absolutely,
of.
yeah.
And so like I I like the idea of I like the concept of like what does the Wolfman represent? What does it mean? What does Dracula? What does Frankenstein? Frankenstein was written as a um what do you want to call it, as a critique of the industrial era, right? That was Mary Shelley kind of like
Hmm.
looking at the industrial revolution and going, this is not great, this is bad, we're creating a monster here, kind of a thing. And so zombies, um I find them to be fascinating, mostly because I'm living in the generation that fears them, and to be that, well, I mean, just because it's like
The
these are,
generation that fears them. It's so true.
well,
Well,
but
okay.
I mean, it's a very fascinating topic when you start to look at what do cultures fear. And then you look at, well, the best way to look at that and to tell is to sort of look at their stories, look at the stories they tell around the campfire, look at the things that horrify them. And zombies are, absolutely, I think for a lot of reasons zombies are very informative, you know for me.
Informative. That's an interesting choice of word.
Yeah, I really, I mean, well, it tells you a lot about what we fear, but it also, like, one of my favorite books of all time actually is World War Z. The book. The movie was an
Yeah.
atrocity against nature and
It
should be
wasn't even.
burned.
So I read I read at least half that book. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think I was. But the book was a
nothing.
series of journal entries, wasn't it?
Well, no, what it
Am I
the
am I
book was a
thinking of the
series
same
of
book?
basically articles,
Yeah,
like there
that's
was a
right.
guy who went around the world to like document World War Z, so he was interviewing a bunch of different people. But yeah, the movie was garbo. Like
The
it
movie
was
was
just
super regular zombie movie.
right. They had an opportunity to create a movie with like a bunch of vignettes that would have been amazing and really cool and really scary. And instead they were just like, let's make the zombies run. That's scary. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
job. You
Okay.
know?
Okay,
Um
I understand.
so but the overall, like the concept of World War Z, if you really got into it, you started to understand like he really thought like, and by the way, that's Mel Brooks's kid. I don't know if you knew that. The guy who wrote World War Z is Mel Brooks's kid, Max Brooks.
I did not
Um,
know that.
yeah, so Blazing Saddles, the guy who did Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs and all that, that's his kid. Anyways, so like he did this amazing like think piece essentially on like what would happen if there was, and so you start to read these interviews from people, and like the one that was really scary to me was there's actually hardly any zombies in the vignette at all. It was just this, they were talking to this girl who kind of, because this is obviously post the World War Z, so it's like 10 years later or something like that. And they're talking about how this girl was witnessing her family packing up and then moving, and they were going north and farther north to try to get away from people. And then like people just kept coming, and then there was like cannibalism because nobody was really like prepared. Like it was a really, really great thought think piece in terms of what would happen. And so I don't know. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from like sort of game theorying uh zombie apocalypse. I think there's, like most
Okay,
people,
so
if shit hits the fan, most people are going to try to move south. They're going to try to move towards places where it's warm. They're going to move towards the water. They're going to move towards the beaches. Um, and so you can make kind of it's kind of like this psychological or sociological, I guess would be a better word, sociological understanding of human nature that was really, really interesting. So yes,
Absolutely.
I'm a zombie guy.
All that to say, yeah,
All
you're
that to
definitely a
say,
zombie guy, dude.
I'm definitely a zombie guy.
Okay, so one thing I just want to comment on, yeah, the idea of them being in horror movies, I get that, but also I think as we've moved forward, zombies are more of like a comedic thing too. Um,
Sure.
like there's Call of Duty zombies, there's Shaun of like all these
Shaun of the Dead was
Shaun of the so funny.
brilliant.
So, anyways, I bring this up not for no reason. It has to do with Bitcoin because everything has to do with Bitcoin. Okay,
Always, yes.
how can he link zombies to Bitcoin? I don't get it. Where is he going to go with this one? Okay, dude. So there I am last night watching a movie called Army of the Dead. It's the hottest movie on Netflix Canada. It's picture the most cliche regular ass zombie movie and then make it like more cliche regular ass, just they're zombies, they're gonna get you gotta get somewhere safe. And I was like, all right, whatever, it's like a fun movie and we don't watch fun movies very often, so it was fun to watch. But there was a glaring issue that I came to terms with early on that made the movie like actually hard to watch for me because I kept getting annoyed by it. So, like you said, zombies, it's more of like a thinking thing where, okay, if this happened to the world, what's going to happen? You're going to move this way, you're going to go south, you're going to find shelter, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay posted or are you going to go on the move? So, what happened was there's going to be spoilers for Army of the Dead in this. Are you going to watch it? You don't care,
No,
right?
I don't care.
Okay.
I already know why I hate it, so it's fine.
Okay, so the whole premise of the movie is that there's this big guy and he gets hired by another guy to go into where the zombies are and get a bunch of cash out of a vault. And right when I heard that, I was like, there's no fucking way in a post apocalyptic zombie world people are still going to be interested in using cash. And I was like,
Right?
why would you break into? Okay, you have to break into the safe. That's annoying. And then there's literally when they get there. Here's the spoilers. There's the piles of cash. You have to put them in duffel bags. You have to
Uh-huh.
have people to carry the duffel bags. You got to put all the duffel bags in the helicopter. You got to fly the helicopter. And then what? You're going to use cash in a post apocalypse? No, that's not going to be your currency. Your currency is going to be either food or ammunition
Mm-hmm.
or what else would it be? And anything that
Well,
isn't paper cash would be the
whatever becomes the most valuable at that point, like
yeah. It's not going to be paper cash though.
no,
That's for sure.
no,
There's
that's
no
retarded.
way.
That's
There,
that's
it's
that's full blown retardation right there.
it's insane, right? So the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, these guys are really going to get money, like dollar bills, and it
Right.
made me upset.
Yeah.
However, it did have a redemption part in it where you find out the guy wasn't really after the money. He was after the head of the zombie queen because then he could start an army. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a more logical reason to go in. Like screw the money. You
See,
want
and this
power.
that's where I like really just even just watching the trailer, I'm like the so here's the thing. The thing about zombies, and I know we're tangenting onto something else here, kind of, because I want to now, because now you've made me angry. Not you personally, but uh,
Okay.
the idea of zombies, the reason they're scary is that they're relentless. They have no fear. They have no natural inhibitions, right? You could,
In this movie, there's alphas that are
yeah,
smart.
that's why I won't watch it, because you're taking the concept of something and you're basically making it less scary because you've made them intelligent now. The thing that's
What?
scary
You're
about
not scared of intelligent creatures?
well, no, but they're not zombies. You know what I mean? Like I'm scared. Like I don't even like birds. Like legitimately, birds bother me because you can't
Have you
tell if a
seen the
bird is
birds?
pissed off. No, I mean yes, I have, but like just a normal like bird, those they just look totally calm and normal until they're clawing your face off. Like birds freak me out legitimately, right? And so, but like zombies are scary for a particular reason. They have a certain set of traits and characteristics that make them terrifying to the human psyche, you know?
But if there are zombie people and there's zombies where there's games or movies or books where it's like, what kind of zombies are they? There's slow zombies,
Right.
there's fast zombies, and then
Right.
there's big zombies and little zombies. So I don't think there's a problem with having different
No, but my
versions of
point is if
zombies.
you have a smart zombie all you have is a cannibal. And I'm not scared of cannibals. I will kill a
Yeah, that's true.
cannibal. You know what I mean?
I
Like, I
don't.
don't give a
Not
shit.
these ones. These ones are no. These ones are
Are they
strong. They're
super
strong.
smart? Well, and that's the
They're
other thing
strong.
that's always bothered. Like, that's always bothered
Strength.
me. Yeah. How do you get more strong from a decomposing body? That's just dumb. That's just
Mm,
dumb. Straight up.
math doesn't check out, does it?
No, does not at all. And I know we're talking about a complete. I know I'm nitpick. I'm plugging. I'm popping holes
I'm,
in the zombie,
I know,
theory.
but
But
we're getting ready for the end of the world, so we got to be prepared.
I tell you, man, my exit strategy is solely based on game crafting, or what's that called? Game theorying on the zombie apocalypse. Absolutely. So,
Exactly. So I think it's a good. I think it's a good thing to prepare for the end of the world, and
but I'm not.
zombies are
I'm
just.
not planning for super fast, smart zombies. That's not part of my.
And
You know,
furthermore, you're not planning to hoard cash paper. Like that's
that's
at the
true.
end of the day,
That I
that's
am
the
not.
worst
I'm
thing you
not
can
going to be
do.
performing a big like when everything goes to shit. I'm not going to be. There's a I think there's a Federal Reserve in Chicago or something like that. I'm not going to be creating a big bank heist for Chicago's Federal Reserve or whatever. Like
It's just
that's
so like
yeah,
it's I'm talking to my wife. I'm just like, it's impractical. It's just silly. It's so much weight. It's got nothing it can do. It's just paper. Like the
right,
best thing you can do with it is burn it. That's all you're gonna
right,
do with
right.
paper
Especially in a
money.
post-apocalyptic United States where there is no government to back up the fiat, anyways. Like, what
That's
what are we
true.
doing? What are we doing? So
Like
good
how
call.
dumb, yeah, how dumb do people have to be to trade the paper around? Oh God.
Hmm.
I think of like I already look at the paper like that now. I got paid the other day. My boss is he paid me in cash, so he's like, "Oh, here." He's like, "Isn't money fun?" I'm like, "No, man. This
No,
like Canada's money is made out of like plastic and it's see through." I'm like,
is
"This
it
never."
legitimately made out of plastic?
Yeah, so you can like wash it and stuff. Like if you
Shut
keep,
up.
yeah,
What?
if you
You
keep
guys
a
can't even
bill.
like mint actual metal money?
No, we have coins. We have coins. I'm talking about the paper money. The paper is plastic, like the bills.
Okay.
So
Do they bend?
yes, they're not like hard plastic. Like I'll show you.
Yeah,
It
you're gonna
looks
have
like a
to.
paper bill, but it's plastic. So if you put your jeans in the wash, and you have a $5 bill in there, it doesn't get ruined. That's the idea.
You can do that with U.S. money. That's not plastic.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. It's better.
All right, I
It's
just
better
learned a
for the
thing,
environment.
and
Plastic
so did
money,
everybody else listening. They just learned a thing.
and it's
Canada
see
has
through.
plastic
So
banana fun time money.
I think the plastic makes it harder to like you can see through it, so it's harder to fabricate, right? Okay, so how did we get here? Where am I? Oh yeah, so the yeah, money is stupid. Oh yeah, my boss was giving me money, and I'm just like, no, I don't care about this. I'm turning this into Bitcoin as soon as I fucking can. That's it. It's
Yeah,
pretty funny. Okay, so yeah, so money and zombie apocalypses is silly. That was my story of the day, and it seems like you
that's a
are.
good story. That's a good story.
Didn't you play? Just one more question on
Yeah,
zombies.
yeah.
Nobody's listening anymore. They're like, these guys have lost it. Um, didn't you play Left 4 Dead? Wasn't Left 4 Dead your game?
I mean, here's one of my games. I still play it.
Okay, so
That
you're
was
a
like
zombie
the.
guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't have it. No, it's just I just don't care for zombie movies generally. Like
Okay, gotcha.
Dawn of the Dead or something like that. Like I love Shaun of the Dead. Scared the hell out of me. I liked the first couple of
Yeah,
seasons of The Walking Dead. That was good.
I skipped on
Um,
that one too.
did you? Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
mean, but again, that one wasn't even really about the zombies because that's usually what zombie movies are. Is they're more about we are the monsters. Like that's the big takeaway. Is the real monster was the humans all along.
that's true.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of The Last of Us. It's a PlayStation 4 game.
yeah,
That's a good in, interpretation of a zombie
I heard
world.
good things about the first one. Second
Yeah,
one, I didn't
I
hear
haven't
such good things. So,
I haven't played
but
the
I haven't
second one
played
yet.
either one.
No spoilers. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
So
zombies are fun.
yeah.
Okay. Speaking of zombies,
Yeah.
we got a
Oh wait,
lot
no,
of.
I have is it funny? I don't know if it's funny, but I have a
That's
little
how I
fun story.
started my. Yeah. Okay. Give it.
Yeah. So I'm talking to my buddy today, okay? And let me just pull it up here. Okay. This is what he says. And this just I actually tweeted this out earlier, but I'm gonna say it here anyway. So he goes, random story here. I was talking to my buddy about Bitcoin mining the other day, because they were talking about ETH proof of stake or whatever, or ETH proof of stake. And I asked him what he thought it was. He told me, listen to this, dude. He told me that his dad told him it's where, and I quote, or he puts quotes in, computers search for missing or lost money in the system, like pennies and such that were unaccounted for due to errors.
Yeah, I saw you tweet that. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if you were referring to something you've read. This actually happened to you?
This I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine today. His buddy's dad told him that it's like this it's like the plot of Superman 3, you know, like they're finding like the half cents that get lopped off in transactions and finding those. Like that's what Bitcoin mining is. It's finding lost money.
It's you hear people say stuff like that and you just remember how unbelievably early we are. Like
Mm-hmm.
whenever you start to think, "Oh my god, we're just gonna the hyper Bitcoinization is right around the corner," and then you're like, "Oh no, no, maybe not." People are so uninformed, so aggressively uninformed, or just ignorant.
Aggressively uninformed is such a good way to put that, dude. Like if
Yeah,
you're not, after this long in the game, if you're not kind of at least trying to pay attention, I don't know, man. Like
it's
I
pretty
just,
crazy.
yeah, I see the world so differently than I did even a few months ago, and it's just like, what? How was I so dumb? How was I so
I know
blind to
yeah,
everything?
you feel like you're when you talk to Bitcoiners, you feel it's like a breath of a sigh of relief, and then you have to go back to talk to people that don't understand.
Yeah,
They
people like
think you're
bosses
the
that are like,
idiot.
"Isn't money great?" And
Yeah, you're just like, no, man,
I'm sure your boss
it's
is a
all.
nice guy. Don't get me
Oh, he's
wrong.
the
It's just,
best, man. He's a good
yeah,
dude.
it's just, come on, man. Like he's got to have seen it like in action. He's got to see like the fiat system in action, just stealing his wealth and ruining his long-term future. And like, I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
you know what's weird about it is I brought it up to him a couple months back in December. Like I talked to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I explained the idea that it's a store of value or store of wealth, right? It's not just something to trade around. And he's like, "Well, I've always heard that if you're gonna just store your wealth, the best thing to do is do it with gold or precious metals." I'm like, "Yeah, that's another good choice." Like we said in early episode of our show is you can buy Bitcoin or you can buy gold. And so I asked him like, "Oh, okay, well that's good. Do you own any gold?" And he's like, "No." So, but so what? Why? Like how do you it's crazy these people and these people are not like poor people. It just all their
No,
wealth is just in cash, and those are the people that I'm concerned for. Like you
right.
just people with different bank account signs. If you have 10,000, even if it's $100,000 in cash in your bank account and you don't have any investments, like maybe you own a house or something, but that's it. It's going to be rough for those people, man.
Mm-hmm. And you just wonder how are you? I don't know.
Like why are you being so ignorant?
Right. I just,
It's
and
so-
for everybody that's new to the show right now, because hopefully we have a new listener who's like, I know nothing about Bitcoin, and you guys are being assholes. Yeah,
we
kind
we
of.
brought him in with the zombie talk, and then
Yeah,
now they're like, wait, what's going on?
yeah.
Why am I
We
an
kind of
idiot?
are. You know why, dear listener, who doesn't know or understand or care, or you just, I don't know, some neighbor has this on in the background. I don't know, whatever your kink is. I don't give a shit. I'm so negative today.
It's okay.
The point is, and this is something I've come to understand. Bitcoin is more about philosophy and morals than it is about anything else. Honestly,
Yeah, man. It's
it
barely about the money at all,
it's
honestly.
really, yeah, it really is not really that. I mean, it's about the money, but it's not. And so if we're coming off as assholes, um, I ask you to just kind of stick around to do some research. There's I would recommend the Bitcoin Standard. I would recommend previous episodes of this podcast. There's
Dude, have you gone ahead and bought any of the Bitcoin books yet, and read
no,
any
I
of them
haven't
yet?
yet. I haven't
I
yet.
know, eh?
I
Me
need to get
neither.
the
Fuck.
Bitcoin Standard. I'm still kind of working on Jekyll Island, so
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm.
um
I want to read the Bitcoin Standard as well.
yeah, I definitely need to read that. Apparently that's really good. But
We just lost all our credibility. People,
they didn't
these
even
guys,
read the Bitcoin
they haven't
Standard.
even read the books yet. They probably don't even know what's on the white paper. No,
I
we're
read the
idiots.
white paper. Shut up. I read it for fuck's sake.
Took a
No, but
while to
here's the
get there.
thing. Here's the thing. We haven't even read the books, and this is how far we are into our journey. Like
I
that's how
know.
good we are.
You know
Like,
what's fun
imagine how
about
much
it?
more powerful we'll be once we've read the Bitcoin standard.
And it really is like that. It's like that's what I was thinking. I went through a phase where I'm like, okay, I've learned everything I need to learn, but then you realize, oh, there's so much more. And even more so, it's like when you I'm saying like a lot. I'm going to try and stop doing that. But when you learn about something financial or whatever it is, and then you watch another video where you understand it more, it feels so good. Like I'll, I'll watch a video on the on how people are trading, and I'm like, yes, I know what's going on here. It
I know
feels
what that
really.
acronym means.
I know the
Yay!
word. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it feels better even if you learn the same thing over and over. So don't stop learning even
right.
if you're learning the same thing. It just betters your understanding and hopefully it makes it easier for you to explain to people.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue into why you need to learn about these things, because we're going to talk about FUD today,
Oh,
right, Jeff?
yeah, man, that was an awesome. That mark that one down is one of the best segues, dude. I'm
It's
happy with that
one
one.
of our better ones.
One
I'm
of a good
pretty
one.
proud of that one. I
So
won't
yeah,
murder
we
it, but
we are going into old school Why Bitcoin podcast with just a good old question of the day. Question of the day being, what is FUD, dude? My first question for you is: Is FUD just a Bitcoin thing, or has FUD always been around and I just never realized it?
I
Like, is
think the
FUD just
I think
propaganda?
I think the concept has been around forever. I think the acronym is kind of Bitcoin exclusive. I would love to
Okay,
be
that's what.
wrong about that. If anyone out there listening knows that that term FUD was used in any other context, 'cause I've never heard it before. But I mean, dude, you and I both have lived that. FUD is everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's that it's literally everywhere all the time, especially since we went to a 24-hour news cycle with the with cable news and stuff like that. FUD is
Okay, let's
let's define it.
quickly let's define it. So FUD stands for. Do you want to do it? Or I'll
No,
say.
it's this is your bag, man. Go for it.
Okay, so FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and it's used by publications and people that make media to seemingly scare potential investors, I guess, into staying away from whatever it is that they're trying to keep people away from. Ideally, in this point, obviously, it's Bitcoin, so
Well,
you're
I
going to
would
see
say
a
it's
lot.
more than just keeping people away from stuff. I mean, look, we talked with Batters last week about the coronavirus. I'm sorry, that's FUD. That's all it is. It was completely overhyped from
Well,
day
you got to be
one.
careful. There's, yeah. I
No,
want to put my
I don't
foot
think
down.
you okay,
Just
go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
we need to. I think there's a delicate balance. I think people. Okay, this is what FUD does. Here, I'll put it this way:
Okay.
FUD radicalizes people, and that's what's concerning to me. Is people will read something and they'll be all in on it, or they'll read against it and they'll be all out of it, and it makes it so that it's hard to question people's actual, like, what's actually going on, right? Because you just read Bitcoin is evil. Okay, Bitcoin is evil. Or, well, okay, so let's put it, yeah, let's put it this way: is, would you say, just as a thought experiment as it were, are Bitcoiners fudding against gold? Like, if somebody wanted to
Um,
invest in gold, is, are Bitcoiners just fudding? Not really. No. Can I answer my own question?
well, I mean, if I can disagree with your answer, sure.
Okay, my answer would be that no, it's not, because Bitcoiners only speak in just facts, and that's why I like them. They're just like, here's what it
Well,
is.
okay, now you
Here's how
got to
it.
stop. You got to stop right there. I don't I hate
Am I
that. I hate that. No, I hate that because
okay?
I
Why?
think that kind of mentality, it when you make an absolute statement like that, you open
Oh yeah,
yourself up.
you get mad at absolutes, eh?
I really don't like them, and
I
from
love
the
them.
sense of, and I do, and the thing of it is I'm a super black and white kind of guy, but I do think when you're talking about human beings, if you're going to say something that's an absolute, you're going to be proven wrong, like a guarantee. Like if you're like
Okay, well,
Jeff is the most solid guy I've ever met, he would never betray you. Fucking tomorrow he'll betray me. Like
yeah,
that's
I'm
just
pretty
how my
liquid.
life is, right? You know, like, and I obviously wasn't pointed at you because we're friends, but you
I
know,
would
like
betray you if I needed to.
I think so. Like, okay, make your point about gold and fudding, but don't say stuff like like Bitcoiners only deal in truth, because that's gonna
No, I'm
that's
not
gonna
saying
make me
truth. Well, maybe I
okay.
am saying. I guess is fact and truth interchangeable?
I
Like,
think no, they're not technically,
yeah,
but they should be.
fact.
Honestly,
Yeah,
facts
that's true.
should be truth, and truth should be the facts. Like that's the way it should kind
Yeah,
of work, right? Like,
I know, but it's
uh,
not always.
well, and that's when
Is
you
it?
start to get into facts or perception or whatever. But the point is, let's
Mm,
talk about gold. Okay, let's talk about
okay.
Bitcoiners and gold. Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking. Okay, so somebody wants to invest in gold, and a Bitcoiner is going to tell them, well, a good it's not a good store of value because it's not holding your wealth against the fiat currency as best as Bitcoin is, right? So that technically is fudding against gold, where it is. The one thing that I like that I read about gold was that it's held its value in that 100 years ago, an ounce of gold would buy you a nice suit,
Right.
right?
I
And
think I've actually said that
it
before
might
too. I
be
think
you
that's where
that
you heard
said
that.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I always think about that, and
Because I
then
was literally
okay,
about to say it, and I'm like, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. But yes,
well,
it's
yeah.
true. It's true, though.
But the difference is with Bitcoin, a Bitcoin could not buy you a nice suit when it started, and now a Bitcoin could buy you 10,000 nice suits. So what is an actual better store of wealth, right? And that's where you get into.
Well, I think there's a lot of factors to gold that are negatives, and there are positives, and I think it shares the positives with Bitcoin. Like the difference is, honestly, the difference is that Bitcoin is a new technology that is still. I read this somewhere, but one of the things you have to remember about Bitcoin is that it's still in a what's that called, a price seeking state,
Yeah.
and but it's a global price seeking state, right? This is not like, and gold has had, thousands and thousands of years to sort of find where it's supposed to be in terms of value. Also, there's a large argument, I think, to be made about the people that own most of the gold are suppressing the value of gold, so it's not really sitting where it should be in terms of value.
Okay,
uh,
so that's
so,
interesting. But
so that's so there's so to so when, like, I see this a lot in Bitcoin Twitter, right, where people just they hate gold bugs, you know, and to me, I think that's kind of silly, because gold is tested. It has been tested for millennia, right, and it's
okay, so
held.
I would disagree with the idea that Bitcoin Twitter hates gold bugs. I think that gold bugs and Bitcoiners are almost the exact same person, just what the last part of their thesis is the one thing that changes. That's why
No,
Bitcoiners
and
like
I would
talking.
I would tend to agree, but I've seen a lot of Bitcoiners just really shit on gold, like they just hate it. And it's, oh, because you get stuff like, well, it's like what we're seeing now with Bitcoin, with the ETH guys, right? Oh, it's outdated, it's antiquated, it's old school, it's boomer tech, stuff like that. And it's like, I think I have seen Bitcoiners say that about gold, and then now I'm seeing ETH holders say that about Bitcoiners, and it's like, I think,
Yeah, they're just not comparable, though.
in terms of what's not
Well,
comparable.
uh, Bitcoin is to gold not in the same way as ETH is to Bitcoin at all. I don't think.
No, I would tend to agree. That's
Right. So yeah,
no,
the
no, no.
ETH
I
people are
I
just dum
but
dums.
is I mean, so what's your original question, right? Your original question is, do Bitcoiners FUD gold? I
Yeah.
I I don't know. I don't think they do. I think they just have a different view on, like you said, they're kind of two sides of the same coin, right? They just have a different perceived outcome of value, you know?
Mhm.
I think the people that buy gold are not going to be disappointed that they bought gold. I don't think that at some point in the future, people are going to be like, gold? Screw you. I'm not going to trade for that. That's stupid. Like, I think that
That
holding
is
gold,
that is a good question though, because that could happen sooner than later. I think you're right that it doesn't. I think with this, like what this cycle is showing us, is a lot of people thought that all of the gold value was going to go away like in a year,
right?
and it seems like we're still a long ways away from that. So Yeah,
Right.
buying gold is not the worst thing you could do if you don't know anything about Bitcoin.
Right.
But
But it does have its detractions. It's hard to move. It's hard to sell sometimes, you know? I mean, um and I think probably the
here you go,
biggest
fudding.
attraction. Yeah, right, exactly. I think the biggest problem with gold is the moving of it, right? How do you turn that into a money per se, without,
Well, that yeah, that's what I
but
was thinking about in the zombie movie. I'm like, imagine even if it was gold, that would suck even more because
oh
it's
yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
You're just carrying rocks around. Like that sucks, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. It would be impossible, I mean, a bar
But
of
I'd still,
gold weighs something like, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds or something. It's
I
ridiculously heavy, you know?
I
So,
think I'd still rather have gold in a zombie apocalypse than I would have paper cash, though. What would you
oh,
rather?
absolutely. I mean, if the assumption is that the grid has gone down and I can't access my Bitcoin, yeah, I'm taking gold all the time.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
again, you can melt gold. It does have its benefits. You can melt it down. You can break it into smaller parts. I mean, it's historically renowned. It has a perceived value that has lasted for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So, I don't, you know, I don't see I don't see a problem with that. I
For the
really don't.
record, if the grid goes down, Bitcoin's still fine, man. We got generators and there's satellites in space that don't need the grid. So,
Yeah, that you have to
Bitcoin.
trust Elon to use. That was
No,
actually
dude.
really like, speaking of FUD, and fuck Elon, by the way. Um, I saw somebody post something today, and they asked, given the recent events of the last week or so with Elon, do you trust? And this is a question I'm putting to you. Do you trust Starlink now?
So Star Starlink is that the main thing that he's trying to get to Mars with,
No,
or
no,
are you
no.
talking
That's
about the
that's
internet program that he's putting
yeah,
up?
his satellite based internet program.
I I think it's cool. I think his main goal, I don't know, maybe I'm misinformed, but I thought his main goal was to just give internet to the world for free. Like here's satellites. But I also think it's more beneficial to people in places that don't already have high speed internet. So like America, Canada, Australia. It's not going to benefit us, but people in Africa or third world countries are going to benefit because they don't have internet at all. But it's still going to
Right.
be slow. So I'm all
But
for it.
based
I don't
on
see a problem with
based
it.
on his recent, I don't know what you want to call it, schizophrenia of the last week or so. I mean, he
He's a
went from
maniac like me, man.
he's absolutely he's just off the charts in terms of
I
where's
just
his
love
brain.
I love people like this though.
Do you?
That's
They
why
annoy
oh
me.
yeah,
They annoy
dude.
me.
You're not a fan of Kanye? I love Kanye too.
No, I've never liked Kanye. Even
I
yeah,
love
I
him.
mean, I liked his Jesus phase. I think that's good. I think everybody should
He's in a
try
major
to.
Jesus phase right now. He's
I
got a
think
whole
everyone should try to find faith. I think it's really important, and I absolutely support him in that. But I still think he's a nut job. I wouldn't let him watch my kids. You know what I mean? Like,
I
so,
love nut man, nut jobs are great, dude. They come up
and
with the
that's
most
fine. Nut
creative
jobs are
stuff.
fine, but here's my problem with them. Honestly, if Elon was an average dude, you wouldn't give him the time of day. Like,
Exactly.
he would literally be the guy on the corner that smelled like bum piss and was washing your car with a dirty rag and like asking for 50 cents because he's that crazy. Like,
But you
he's
know what's good about crazy people is that they stand out and they do make a difference. That's why I like them. Because you know who's not
uh
crazy? People that are let's say this. You know who's not crazy, quote unquote, are the people walking around and driving around with masks by themselves. That's what is considered not crazy right now.
no,
So
no, no, and that's true. That's true. But at the same time,
I'd rather be crazy.
like, my favorite personality, I guess you'd say, right? Barring Jesus. Thank you, I'm a Christian. Um, is Tesla. I love Tesla, dude. If you
Yeah,
have you
man.
ever read about Nikola Tesla?
I want to read more about him. I actually
Dude,
did some
the
research
guy
on
was
somebody
baller.
after.
I mean,
Yeah.
stone cold baller, right? Dude, you should definitely, if you haven't read, I'm surprised, honestly, given your level
No,
of
no. I know.
conversion.
No, I know.
But
Like, I know a fair amount about him, but I was reading into how electricity started, and it's somebody that came. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but this guy was interesting too. Sorry to cut you off, but
No, it's fine.
he was the guy that first created like the magnets that pass by each other, and then he created electricity. I'm gonna look up his name. You tell me about Tesla. I'm gonna look up his.
So, like, one of the things he did is he came up with free electricity for everybody. Like, he invented a method for literally just like pulling electricity out of the air. That was actually his. He has a place in New Jersey, and I can't remember the name of the place right now. It's actually really cool because somebody came along recently and started a GoFundMe to save it because they were going to knock it down. But it was basically his lab in Jersey. But he has it's if you've seen pictures of it, but it's like this weird dome structure, and basically it was like it could pull electricity out of the air, and he was willing to give it to the world. He was like, oh, the other thing that was really super cool about him, it was I think it was Marconi started using some of his patents to develop the radio. I'm pretty sure it was Marconi. And somebody came to Tesla and like, hey, you should sue him because he's using your patent. And he didn't give you any credit, blah, blah, blah. He's not giving you any kickbacks. And Tesla basically said, you know, Marconi's a pretty good guy and he's doing some really cool stuff with this. So let him have it. It's fine. Like, he didn't care about the notoriety, which is why he died poor and penniless. He didn't care about uh, the power that comes with wealth and everything else. You know, he just wanted to make the world a better place, and he had a brain
Yeah,
that could
dude.
do it. That's the type of guy that I would, I would definitely throw my weight behind. A guy like Elon, he says he
Hold on,
wants to
hold
make the
on.
world. Okay, go
Just
ahead.
to,
Yeah,
well,
caveat. Go ahead.
just because what you said about somebody that doesn't care about the power or the fame or the money, those people come around so rarely, right?
Right.
So Tesla being one of them, your buddy Jesus being one of them, and
My buddy Jesus.
I really do think that Satoshi falls in that category.
Oh,
And I
I
don't think
believe it.
we've had somebody like that because if he wanted to, he could have got rich, but
Yep.
he made it open source. I think those were all very, very well thought about choices that he made to stay anonymous, to keep it open source, to do this. Just here, world, have this. Oh, man. I
No,
love Satoshi.
if things go as we think they're going to go, and I have to admit, this week has been rough. Just like with all the FUD, and then the stuff today that came out and everything else with Sailor and Elon and Jesus.
I just see, man, that's why it's good being a maniac. I just
If
laugh, cackling,
if
laughing when I see
if it
things
all
happen.
goes to plan, right? Satoshi will go down in the same chapters as a Nikola Tesla, as a Da Vinci. Like, he will
Yeah,
go
Da Vinci's
down.
a good one too.
Yeah, and again, it's these type of people that, and we've talked about this idea before. These people whose brains just seem to work on like a completely different level.
Like they're
Where,
aliens,
well,
man.
yeah, maybe, who, I don't know, Jesus. At this point, I'm willing to buy anything, But it's like
It's tough.
these
Eh?
people do. There are like once every couple of 100 years, and it's seriously like one person every couple of hundred of years. If you, I'm sure I should do a study on it. Honestly, I'm sure if you really looked at the people who truly change the world, you know, they come around like maybe once every 1,000 years, or maybe once every 500 years, or whatever it is. And there's like one guy, and they just totally blow up every expectation we had, or every, whatever. And like, so like everyone, Edison. Yeah, everyone's all on Edison. Oh, he's so cool. Or not is it Edison? Yeah, right?
Edison
Thomas
was a
Edison.
person. Yeah,
Thomas
Thomas
Edison
Edison was a
invented the
dude.
light bulb, right?
Sort of.
Yeah, except he didn't, right? We know that.
Well, you know
So
what? Okay, so here, actually, that's what Elon's like. Because Elon,
yes,
I
yes.
found it. This is what it is. All like Tesla, he didn't. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass right now because I read one headline, so I shouldn't do this. But apparently, he didn't invent like the idea of Tesla at all. He just bought it off somebody else.
Yep.
Same with
Bill
Starlink.
Gates.
Same with same with Bill Gates. But same with all of
Yep.
Elon's like
Yep.
major ideas. He wasn't the actual thinker, or I don't know, the inventor. I guess
No, right.
he's the developer more than the
And if you
main
look at
creator.
PayPal didn't take
Yeah,
off until
PayPal is
after he left.
yeah.
His big claim to fame or whatever. And that's essentially what Edison did. Edison had Menlo Park, and Menlo Park was basically a bunch of scientists and a bunch of inventors and thinkers. And he kind of he was their patron, and they came up with stuff and he patented it. He's like, well, this is my idea because I basically paid for your food and rent, so everything you create right now is mine. You
It's
know.
kind of like BlockFi. We'll take this. This is ours now.
I'm out of BlockFi. You can just stop. You can
That's
stop
also
hating on
good.
BlockFi.
No, I'm
Right? I'm
always
not
gonna
putting
hate
any
on
more money
BlockFi.
with them. They done screwed the pooch on that.
I
So
actually heard Thomas Edison invented BlockFi.
so the
That's a pretty
point
good
is
joke.
that is a pretty good job. It made me laugh. Like that was a legit laugh. I wasn't laughing for the cameras or anything. It was good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yes,
I just
Edison.
yeah. I mean, I don't even talk about this. I don't like Edison, honestly. You know, I mean, here was okay. Here's all you need to know about Edison in case you guys don't know. Okay, because okay, so there was competing theories on how electricity should work for the masses, right? Tesla had his version and Edison had his version. There, so is AC and DC. And as I recall, I'm pretty sure that Tesla, I can't remember who wanted
Tesla
it.
had the good one.
Well, no, because I think Edison won out at the end of the day. I could be wrong. I get it all jumbled. I read a whole biography on him on Tesla. But the
I know
point
it's tough when you
is
get it down to the just letters. It's
is
like whatever.
what Edison would do is he would literally put on like stage shows. He would go to communities and he would electrify animals and kill them and then and say, "See? Look at how dangerous Tesla's electricity is. It killed this animal." Yeah. And it's like, dude, what? Like and because people didn't know what it was, right? Nobody had heard of
Oh, like
electricity.
yeah.
They didn't understand it conceptually. It was, I mean, people were still using like gas burners, and I mean, they had no concept, and it was like magic to them. It literally was like magic to them. If you turned on a light with electricity, you know. By the way, total caveat. I'm just totally off the grid right now. Have you ever seen The Prestige?
Yeah, dude. I watched it a while ago.
Oh
It
my
was
god,
good,
one
but
of the best movies of all time. Also,
I
because
need
it
to
has
watch it
Nikola
again.
Tesla. I fucking loved David Bowie as Nikola Tesla. Oh, I have to go get a napkin now. Like it was so. Oh my god.
I have to go back and watch a lot of movies. When I was in college, I had a lot of
Yeah.
friends that were in film
Oh
college
really?
classes.
Okay.
So I had this one buddy that was like a major movie snob. He knew all the best movies, and we'd do like a screening every Saturday of what like the best movies of all time. You know what I mean? Like Academy Award, and I'm sure The Prestige was on there. But the catch was, I mean, we were in college, so we were all pretty much just hammered or doing edibles or whatever it is. So my memory is blurry of them. I just remember like being in awe. Like Gattaca is another really good movie. There's a lot of good movies we
I
watched,
never
but
saw Gattaca,
Gattaca's good, man.
but
But I gotta watch it
Prestige
again.
was Prestige. So good. If you guys,
Yeah, I gotta watch it again.
dear audience, if you haven't seen Prestige, go watch it, man. Just for David Bowie playing Nikola Tesla, like just that. It's a great movie beyond that, but whew, such a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, where were we? I don't know.
Okay.
What's going
I
on?
have so I found the name of the guy that I was talking about. Michael Faraday, dude. Do you know
Oh,
who he
Faraday
is?
Cages. Yeah.
Yeah, Faraday was the man. So I watched a documentary about him, and he was a really interesting dude. So he came first, and then it was Tesla and Edison. But Faraday seemed like he was a super smart guy,
You know
and
what I
he's not
miss,
really
dude?
well known at all.
Well, dude, I mean, anybody who's a survivalist knows about Faraday cages. Like that's
Mm,
Faraday. That's survivalist 101. Do you know what a Faraday cage is?
I do not.
Okay, so basically, what it is if there was, let's say, to be like an EMP, which can come from several different sources. Um, the sun, they think, I think I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure the sun could emit a large EMP that could wipe us out, or something like a nuclear detonation in the atmosphere at a certain height will basically, it won't kill anybody, but it will knock out all electrical everything. So, let's say there was one over like the middle of North America. Let's say nobody's car would work, it doesn't just turn it off; it fries it. Right? It's basically, it's kind of, for the way I've come to understand it, is it's sort of a um uh it's like an electrical storm, right? It's like
Yeah.
like if rain were electricity, that's what it would be. And
Hmm.
it falls down and it cascades over everything. So all your power grids get fried, right? Every computer, every piece of tech you have will get fried by an EMP. It'll be
EMPs are heavily used in video games. I love
yes,
throwing
that's true.
EMP grenade.
That's true. So the idea of a Faraday cage essentially is what it does is it takes that EMP energy. You basically build a box. It's got to be like a conductive box, and then you stake it to the ground. And what happens is the EMP energy gets collected by the box. It doesn't touch the tech inside, and it conducts all that energy down to the ground. It grounds it. And so, I mean, I don't know Michael Faraday, but I know his work, and I'm thankful for it
Nice.
because, in the future, when the zombies come, I'm going to have to build a Faraday cage just to protect my stuff, just in case. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine the irony if you needed to build a Faraday cage and somebody would build it for you, but they'd only take cash. And you'd be like,
Ugh,
come on, man. I don't have any
what a
of your
good trade,
shitty
though. What an
cash.
absolute good
That
trade
would
for
be a good
me.
trade. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good trade. Here, take
yeah.
this stupid paper dummy.
Man, we are all over the place right now.
I
What's
think we
happening?
nailed it. I think we nailed it. We said, what is FUD? FUD is when the zombies come. If they're going too fast, then you have to be able to. Is that? And
Let's
then,
talk about a couple of examples of FUD though, real quick. Let's
okay,
just roll
so
through this,
okay,
right?
so here, we'll bring up this example. Anybody that's interested in Bitcoin, one person you need to absolutely follow is a kid by the name Nick Carter. He's NIC __ Carter. Do you follow him? I hope you follow Nick Carter.
Oh, of course I do.
Okay, so Nick made a set of dice. Oh, and you're a game guy, so you know what dice are. They're 12-sided die,
Yeah,
and they have. I think they're 12. I think it's 12-sided die.
I'm
But
pretty
he
sure it's
put
20 actually, but okay.
well, no, for Nick's dice, they're 12-sided. So
No,
I mean,
I'm actually pretty sure it's 20-sided die. I've seen those.
I'm looking at it right now. I think I win.
Oh,
It's not.
really? Okay. You know what?
It's
I'm
not
gonna
a
look
20.
it up too. I'm gonna look it up too.
Listen, okay, it's a dice,
Nick
a die or
Carter,
one die. Is it one die or one dice? How do you go by it?
one die. Yeah.
One die. Okay, so he has two dice, and they come. Each side of the dice has a example of
Bro,
FUD on it, which is very fun because when you're looking at when you're those are 12. I can tell just by looking at one
I can
side.
actually. I used to sell them for a living. Shut up. Go
I
on.
know you. I know you did. So when you're new to Bitcoin, you're gonna see a lot of FUD, and it becomes laughable the more you're in it because they're so predictable that you could put them on dice. So that's what he did. So energy waste, small blocks, high fees. China controls it. China's gonna ban it. All of these things are things that the media is putting out to slow Bitcoin adoption as much as they possibly can. At least that's why I think they're doing it. Um, and when you see these articles, it'll turn you off from them. And even an article such as like, "Oh, Bitcoin is dead," and you know what's annoying about that? I think definitely anybody listening to this podcast has at least heard that Bitcoin is dead at some point. Because I heard it, back in 20 whatever it was, and you just see an article in passing. Oh yeah, that Bitcoin project, whatever, it's over now. And those articles are so detrimental to human civilization. It's so frustrating. So to recognize what's going on is good. Um, and they can all be debunked. Like, do we want to debunk a couple of them real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to. Pick
Okay,
one.
so oh well,
If we had the dice, we could roll them and find out. We
I
should order
know
some dice and
we should get
do
them.
some sort of.
We need to get a Lightning node set up, man, because he only accepts Lightning
I have
payments.
Lightning Node.
You have a no, you got your Lightning node set up?
Yeah, dude, it's part of Umbrel.
Yeah, but I thought you had to do it separately.
No,
Man, I gotta get my freaking node
you
going.
need to. I'm actually. I kind of feel like I need to make fun of you a little bit
I
because
know.
here
I
you are.
really
You're
got to
supposed
get
to
a
be this
node going.
Bitcoin maximalist, and you don't even have a node, bro.
I
Bro, do
know.
you
I'm
even
such a.
node?
I'm a fake and a phony. It's
Oh my
true.
god! Might as well call you Elon from here on out. Jesus.
I really need to, man. I know it's bad. It's really like I want to, but I just keep stacking sats and I don't have any
Yeah, but this is
money.
how you secure the system, brother.
I
Come
know. I
on.
know. I'm gonna do it.
This
I'm
is
gonna do
for
it.
the greater good. You
And it's
know,
not even that expensive.
it's really not in all the terms. And like, I don't make a dime off of it. I don't. I just run it just because.
Yeah, to be
Like
a
I
sovereign individual, man.
Well, it's not even that. It's just I just wanted to survive. I want like if I'm the last guy running the node, so be it. But like
It
I'm gonna
must.
do it.
It's
I'm gonna
got to
do
feel
it.
good to be part of the program. Yeah, I'm gonna get it going. So, oh, why did? Oh, yeah. If we had the dice. So, what's the biggest FUD that you see all the time? I guess it's the energy thing, right? We
Right
might
now
as.
it's the energy thing. Yeah.
Should we just talk about the? I was going to talk about it after the price check, but let's just jump into. You want to just jump into the sailor
I
thing?
think we have to. Yeah,
Okay.
we can skip the dunk on a no coiner and we can just talk about it because we have to. We have to.
Okay. Well, maybe. Okay.
And by the
We're
way, I
at.
don't think you're gonna like this conversation. I think it's gonna annoy you from my end. But go ahead.
You know what? I think you probably know more about it than I do. I didn't. Maybe you can explain it better than I can. But from my understanding, your buddy Michael Saylor, everybody loves him. Which I actually tweeted out the other day. I was
I
thinking.
did see that. You did. You called
I
it.
think he's going to turn soon, and he decided to host a little meeting with Elon and the leading. Yes. Okay. So the tweet goes: Yesterday, I was pleased to host a meeting between Elon Musk and the leading Bitcoin miners in North America. The miners have agreed to form the Bitcoin Mining Council, or BMC, to promote energy usage transparency and accelerate sustainability initiatives worldwide. Okay, so we have a few issues with this, right?
So many issues. Actually, no, I have one issue, but go ahead. You do yours.
Well, it just comes down to Bitcoin not being green energy, I guess, at the end of the day. And so, one issue is that when you run a node like you do, what you're doing is verifying every transaction that's ever happened, therefore, verifying transactions that have been done by evil Cole. So, you can't prevent the work that's been done, hence proof of work. Maybe I'm saying some words that I don't really understand, but the energy has been consumed and it's going to continue to be consumed, and the green like green energy is fine. Dude, I know, you know what's a weird turn in my life? I was very pro climate, pro save the
Hmm.
earth, and now I'm struggling with this one because there's a lot of Bitcoiners that are saying coal is the best, and the whole thing is just one big conspiracy. And I haven't dived deep enough to like agree with it. I don't know where I my head's in the I'm just I don't know what to think right now, because when you get into Bitcoin, there's a lot you learn, and this whole energy thing is really blowing my mind. Like my
Yeah.
whole life growing up, it's save the trees, plant a tree,
Yep.
use solar, use wind energy, and where I'm from, if you go into the country a little bit, we have like literally hundreds of windmills, and there's lots of hydropower, all this renewable energy, which is good. But you find out how those things were actually made in the first place, and that comes from non-renewable energy sources, anyways. I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's so weird going down this, and it's this narrative that the mainstream media has been pushing for so long to save the planet. I'm all for
Yeah.
saving the planet, but not
Yeah.
at the expense of
Well, let's
your own
stop. Can I just
life.
stop you right there?
Okay, yeah.
That's my problem. Right there. What you said
Wait, hold
is
on. Sorry. I just
that.
pressed the hand. I don't know. Did I ruin
It just means
something?
you want to. This just means you want to talk,
Oh,
which you
sorry.
could
Okay.
just say, "Hey, I want to talk."
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
What you said right there is the problem, in my opinion, with the entire energy FUD as it pertains to Bitcoin. Now, I was actually listening to I forget who it was tonight. It's Adam something or other. He was doing a what they called it on Twitter when
The spaces,
the
Twitter
spaces.
spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
dude, they're awesome.
yeah, they're fun, and they were talking about this very topic. And this is my problem. What you said was, I'm all for saving the planet. Okay. And I'm going to probably piss off a ton of people, and I don't care anymore. I just don't care.
Yeah, don't care anymore. Feels good, man.
The planet doesn't need fucking saving. The planet was here before we were. The planet will be here after we were. The planet is fine. The planet emits more carbon dioxide in one volcanic episode than the human race could possibly imagine or try to produce. Just one volcanic explosion. Seriously. Okay? They put so much shit and carbon dioxide and everything else into the atmosphere. There's one thing. Number two, the very idea that CO2, okay, which is part of the process of life on this planet, okay? We breathe in, we exhale CO2. The plants breathe in CO2, they exhale oxygen. It's part of the fucking system, okay? It is. You don't like it? Stop fucking breathing.
You
You're part of the
censored
problem.
yourself. You censored yourself from saying "goddamn" and instead said "fucking."
I did. Okay. So this is my problem with this particular FUD is that everybody on our team, as it were, they're trying to address it from like, well, actually, Bitcoin uses 70% renewable energy, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. Okay. It's great. I think it's fine. Like, look, and I want to say this very clearly. I think polluters, people that dump shit into rivers, okay, or do stuff that hurts the environment from the sense of like an oil spill or whatever, string them up. Absolutely. Okay. If you're careless, you better pay through the nose or you better be put in stocks as far as I'm concerned. Okay. If you're an asshole that, changes his oil in his driveway and then dumps it onto your lawn, you're a dick. I have no compunction saying that. It's a dick move. Okay. It's
Or
just not good.
if you're
It's not
some
good for the
tile
water
setter.
table. If it's not good for the water table, it's not good for the plant life. It's not good for anything. So don't do that shit. Okay. I am not about rampant pollution. I think corporations have an incentive to pollute and they should absolutely be held accountable for anything that they do. 100%. That being said, that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about energy consumption and CO2 production. Okay. Because if we were honest, one of the cleanest energy sources in all of the energy pantheon is nuke. And nobody wants to use nuclear, right? And I'm sorry, I just slurred my words a little bit because maybe I had a glass of scotch while we were talking. But the point is, nuke is very clean, okay? And in terms of
Works in
usage,
Springfield.
from what I've read, okay, if you were to use all the energy that was to be produced by nuclear, okay, you could fit your uranium usage in a lifetime in a can of Coke. Okay. So it's cleaner, it's more efficient than anything else. Now, do I have a problem with solar or wind? No. Do I plan to getting solar panels? Sure, absolutely. But here's the thing. Those aren't trustworthy, right? If it gets cloudy, if there's no wind, right? Also, let's look at those big windmills that you got all over Canada. You should really do a deep dive on how many birds get killed by those fucking things. Like
Yeah.
a lot. A
Well,
lot.
the thing that I've started to look into is that the whole idea that if it's a cloudy day or if there's no wind, right? So
Yeah.
the way that I used to be able to justify that in my head was, we'll just charge up extra energy,
Right.
and then when it's cloudy or whatever, you can use that. But that's not how energy works, as far as
Well,
I've
I
figured
mean,
out.
in
Like
theory, you could use batteries, right? And a lot of people do.
batteries, yeah.
But then you got to look at, well, what's the cost of mining the materials to make those batteries? You know, on average, you actually lose in terms of CO2 carbon production. You actually lose on the manufacturing of a battery in terms of mining it, manufacturing it, getting it to market, blah blah blah. Okay, so and the interesting thing that I heard tonight in that Spaces chat was this idea of it, human life is bettered by the use of energy. Okay, if and I keep saying okay. And by the way, guys, if you notice that stuff when I'm talking, like I say okay, God, I hate it. I hate that tick. Horrible tick.
I have it too.
But
We all do. We're
so
new.
I'm
We're new
I'm trying really
podcast.
hard to break myself of that. But anyways, the point is, they were talking about this idea of what's the carbon footprint for a cardiac surgery? You know, um, Are we saying that you shouldn't get a heart transplant because it takes up too much carbon? If you start putting it into all of that, if you start looking at it from a micro to macro level, you start to understand that human life is made better by energy consumption.
Yeah,
I,
dude.
I have a freezer, right? That freezer means I can buy food now and I can store it for long periods of time. That takes energy. That makes the human race better. We don't have to try to, eat and consume on the same day because it goes bad tomorrow, right? Uh, you look at movement. What has the idea of movement? Being able to get on a plane and or get into a car or a train, those consume energy. So if you concede that using energy is a bad thing, you've already lost because it will never be enough. And this is my problem with this current energy FUD. And this is my problem with Michael Saylor. Okay. Is damn I did it again. Is this idea that energy consumption is bad when all of history kind of tells us the opposite. If I'm producing energy and using energy, I'm generally making things better for people. And Bitcoin is sort of that pinnacle level where we're using a lot of energy and we're securing the lives, the time, the expenditure of the human race. We're securing it. We're making it valuable and we're holding that value. I hate the concept. And Nick Carter does a great job of dismantling the facts that Bitcoin it uses less energy or it uses more. Because honestly, Bitcoin does a great job in terms of not forcing, but that's actually a big distinction. Bitcoin doesn't force people to use anything. Bitcoin incentivizes using more economical means of energy. And
Yeah.
it is absolutely driving incentives. So you have stuff like in Wyoming? I think it's Wyoming, where they're mining something and there's sort of a methane gas expenditure that just gets vented to the atmosphere. And you're seeing people setting up mining like there's ground mining and then there's Bitcoin mining. They're setting up Bitcoin mining to capture that methane, burn it, turn it into energy. Otherwise, it'd just be wasted. It would just be wasted methane out into the atmosphere, right? And they're capitalizing on what they call, I forget what it's called. I think it's just called energy waste or wasted energy.
Flaring energy
Yeah,
flares or
yeah.
whatever.
So they're capturing these flares, and they're turning it into an actual useful product. Because here's the thing: this is why capitalism actually works, ladies and gentlemen. Capitalism takes into account that at the end of the day, a human being will work in its own best interest. And if you're saying to me, you can mine this thing that's going to have almost infinite value in the long term, but you have to buy mining equipment and then you have to fund the energy to run that mining equipment. I'm going to figure out the cheapest way possible to to use the equipment to mine that Bitcoin. It's already happening. Like before, this what really kills me is that before this FUD, and I know this FUD has come up in the past, but now Elon has said it. Right? Elon has said, "Oh, Bitcoin isn't very." First of all, he's wrong, but second of all, we were already taking steps just naturally, just as natural human beings in a capitalistic way. We were already trying to make the most out of the least. That's human nature. That's what we want to do. We want to we don't want to herd goats if I can hunt a mammoth and feed my entire tribe in one shot, because I gotta put a ton of energy into goats. I gotta feed them, I gotta make sure that they have more babies, blah 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 blah. There's a ton of energy that goes into small product, and Bitcoin is like the mammoth. If I can get that mammoth as cheaply as possible, I'm going to feed so many more people. And I know that's a horrible analogy, and I feel kind of bad even making it.
It's
My
not that
point
bad.
is, we we've already lost the battle with the zealots if we concede that there's actually a planet that needs saving. Because the fact of the matter is, in the 1970s, they were calling for an ice age. In the 1970s, Paul Ehrlich, he was saying that well beyond this time, millions would have starved to death because there just wasn't enough land to support them all. These people have been wrong time and time and time again, and we keep listening to them and we keep conceding ground to them. And we've gotten to the point where we're now, instead of just saying to them flat out, you're insane and you're wrong and I'm not even going to debate you, now we got guys like Michael Saylor saying, well, I'm going to create a council of Bitcoin miners. Shut up, dude. What are you doing? You're conceding ground.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird that he did
You
it.
know, I'm kind of spent, so go ahead.
Okay, well, one thing I do want to, we talked about Elon a little bit, and just as, so there's two, you said a lot there, so I have a lot to respond to,
Sure,
but
yeah.
okay, first off, the energy FUD is two pronged. I guess there's one where they're saying people are confusing energy usage with um, greenhouse producing energy, which is like they just said, oh, Bitcoin uses a bunch of energy, so it's bad, which again, yeah, that's stupid. I mean, we're going to eat a mammoth instead of a bunch of goats. I think that is a perfect analogy. I do appreciate it. And just yeah, conflating those two ideas is stupid in the first place. But then secondly, they're going on about the China coal miners. And yeah, where what it comes down to with Bitcoin is it's going to go towards a quote unquote greener initiative just due to the fact that the financial incentive is to find the cheapest point of energy use. So powering up a mining facility with the power of a waterfall right beside you is a lot cheaper than burning and mining
Right.
a bunch of coal. So
Exactly.
it's gonna happen regardless. It's just how fast it happens. And then
And it already
I
is. It
yeah,
already
and it
is.
already is, yeah. So then it goes back to the point of is it why are they it's just the big boys trying to get people scared and saying Bitcoin is bad because it's boiling the oceans, and it's not. It's not.
It's not even
Uh,
close,
and it's
honestly. And
doing
if
the
you look at the
opposite.
graphs, if you look at the graphs between like the traditional fiat banking system versus Bitcoin consumption of energy, they're not even close. They're not even close, you know? So just on that alone, you can just dismiss it. So if you're a new person to the space and you hear Elon, bitching about how much energy consumption, and how great ETH proof of stake is going to be in terms of diminishing that, just understand there is a vested interest in continuing the system that currently exists. And that vested interest does not reside with you. It absolutely doesn't. They don't give a
Yeah, they're
shit
trying
if
to.
you
Yeah, they're
can pay
trying to
your
keep the power.
mortgage or if you can put food on your table. They don't care. And you know how I know that? Because they're printing money and devaluing your time like it's nobody's business. And the reason they don't care about that, well, you're going to say, well, but Doug, they're going to devalue their own cash. Yeah, in theory, except they don't because of the Cantillon effect.
Because they get
They
more.
get the money first. They get to spend it on what they want to spend it on first before it ever hits the actual market and inflates everything. So you're screwed if
Dude,
you.
I just want to. I'm so proud. You've done some homework, eh?
I know.
You
I do feel like
really
if
you really went down the wrong crypto rabbit hole, and you've just come out in a blazing thing of glory. Just oh, Bitcoin is amazing. Look at all this crazy shit. It's like yeah. So if you're listening, Doug is awesome, and everything he's
well,
saying is
thank you, man.
awesome. I
But I do
just
want to reiterate, man,
you're yeah you're
like
saying
this all of this FUD, all the FUD. And it doesn't matter whether it's well, China owns so much of the mining or I mean, we could there's a whole another tirade about that because that's bullshit too, Like
yeah
but so all the FUD, essentially, you have to understand the bottom line is this, okay? FUD, and I don't care what FUD it is, honestly. What it is, as we said in the beginning, is it is information designed to make you emotional, to push you towards the outcome they want. And you just have to remember that. Whether it's
yeah
medicinal, whether it's financial, economic, personal, whatever it is, okay? What racial, right? If you I mean, look at all the race problems we have in America right now. And it's you start to see how they push these buttons and they you
They
know
can change how a whole society thinks given
right,
the news outlet. So all
right.
you have to remember is when you're looking at not only Bitcoin research but any given article at any time, always just think critically about it, assess it for yourself, and then see if you can prove the article wrong or right. But don't take anything at face. I mean, that's just simple. But some people don't know that. Don't take anything at face value. Don't believe anything you read or watch or hear. Don't believe this podcast. Go out and prove us wrong. Or if you can't, then agree and keep trying to learn more.
Well, if you're
That's what it
looking
comes
at
down to.
FUD, you know what you should do, honestly? If you're looking at FUD, and I had to just, while you were talking, I looked this up real quick, is a Latin phrase that escaped my brain. But when you're looking at FUD, okay, if you can identify it as FUD, which as you get more and more into the Bitcoin space, you'll become better at going, wait a minute, this seems like BS. This seems like crap. And as soon as that little alarm goes off in your head and you can identify it as FUD, here's the next question you have to ask yourself. Okay. You use the Latin phrase called que bono. Que bono is Latin for to whom is it a benefit? All right. So ask yourself, Elon is saying that Bitcoin is a massive sink in environmental stuff, right? It's a massive waste. Why would he need to do that? And then you start to research and you start to understand that Elon, his company Tesla, isn't a car company. They make their money is made from selling carbon credits. And so when he says stuff like we need to have a carbon tax, that means that his company, because quote unquote it's green, they get issued these essentially vouchers, these green vouchers, right? And because somebody in the government decided that Tesla was a green company and they get to be issued these green vouchers. And if they don't need all of them, which they don't, because they're a quote unquote green company, right? They kind of get the pass, then they can sell those to other companies. And for the last several years, that's how Tesla's actually made its money. It has made its money by selling imaginary vouchers for an imaginary problem issued by fiat to Tesla to sell to other companies. So if, like, let's say Volkswagen, which doesn't make a green car, again hypothetical, I don't really know the ins and outs, but if they need to suddenly uh, hit a certain green credit mark, you know, carbon credit mark, then they have to buy those credits from someone. And because they weren't issued them by the federal government, they have to go to other companies to buy them to offset their carbon emissions, quote unquote. That's what Tesla has been doing for years now. That's how it's a profitable company. And so when he says stuff like that, you have to ask yourself, cui bono? Who benefits? Why is somebody doing this FUD right now?
So
And
it's
ask
funny,
that.
right? Because
Go ahead.
well, it's just yeah. Sorry. It's just that yeah, these people that are or these companies that create the evil energy sources and then buy the green credits.
Yep.
So it's just another function of how broken the fiat currency world is
Absolutely.
because you can destroy the planet all you want as long as you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And afford what? It's all fake
But you
anyways.
know what? It even
It's
applies
so
to people in our
stupid.
camp. It even applies to people in our camp. Let's look at Michael Saylor, right? He comes out today with this. I have this council, whatever. Que bono. Why does he do this? Why is he? How does he benefit from this?
I don't know. This is the thing that I
Well,
can't
here's the
figure out,
answer.
man.
I'll tell
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay. He has a company that has staked itself solely and entirely on Bitcoin success. He is buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin as a company. Okay. If Bitcoin goes to zero because Elon's fudding it into the ground, he's screwed. So what's his move as a businessman? How does he pull back on the loss that's happening, right? We've seen this since Elon came out with all this nonsense. It's dropped what, 25% or something like that, or 50%,
Hmm.
so how does a guy like Michael Saylor recoup his losses? He kind of joins them. He goes to their team.
So I think
He creates a middle ground where the cyber hornets can see what he's doing and maybe they'll give him a pass, but then also because look what happens. He makes an announcement, it shot up by like 10 grand, right? It went to like 40, it was at like 33, and then it went to like 40 after that announcement. So he's playing the game too. This is my thing. You guys have to identify FUD, ask cui bono. That's what you got to do. Why would Michael Saylor, who has been so bullish on Bitcoin forever, he's literally generated memes just by existing forever, Laura, right? Here's a guy who has been a champion, and then he does something which is completely antithetical to Bitcoin.
so. This is
It
to
just
back Sailor up here, because I've seen one argument for, and if you go back to the previous cycles, there has been FUD that has stuck around for a long time that keeps Bitcoin from moving forward because the same situation moves, or the same FUD just keeps carrying on and keeps holding it down. Whereas with Michael Saylor doing this, either he's believing what he's doing, or, which I like to believe this idea, is he's attacking it head on so that once it's all done, that FUD is done and in the ground forever. It's like, okay,
right,
fine, here we
right.
solved
And
this problem.
I
It's
tend to
over
believe
now.
that. Again, cui bono, right? He benefits from doing this. And because Bitcoin benefits from him doing this.
Yeah, but
From
it's not
a
actually
from a
because of his beliefs. It's because he just wants to be
well, and
done with
that's
it, I
well, and
think.
okay, but like you said at the Bitcoiners try to deal in truth. Like that's kind of our bag.
No,
And
I said fact.
okay, facts, whatever. But that's my problem with it is that instead of him saying, you know what, this is bullshit and I don't give a shit, I'm buying more. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, which
that
is what a lot of the
that would
plebs
have
are
been
doing.
for me would have been a much better play. I don't like the fact that we give ground to uh, nonsense. It's nonsense, dude. It makes no
It is weird, yeah.
for so many reasons. It's just garbage. It's garbage science, it's garbage talking points. It's it's just garbage. And
It's just
why
bowing.
should we concede? That's the whole point of Bitcoin, man. Is the whole idea is we're trying to make a better world, you know? And we can't do that if we just keep allowing nonsense into the conversation.
But so
It's just
that's
one of
why I
those
don't think
things. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just
I,
getting
I
worked
don't
up here.
I don't think he's allowing it. I think he's seeing it, taking it face on, head on, and saying, "Fine, is this your argument? Here, let me show you what happens." Oh, Bitcoin doesn't give a fuck. It's just going to keep on rolling. This council is going to make no difference, and it
The
doesn't.
problem is people who believe in the FUD, they'll never be satisfied. You'll never make it
That's
green
true.
enough. You'll never make it good enough because cui bono, they don't give a shit about the planet. It's not about good or green or whatever. It's about the fact that you're jeopardizing their possessions. You're jeopardizing their Cantillon effect. That's what you're doing. That's why they're pissing about it. And they can't make anything else stick. And everyone buys into this eco bullshit. And so, well, okay. So now Sailor's given them an in. He's given them ground. And they'll never fucking stop. It will never be good enough.
They
Even
just got
if
to keep
Bitcoin
rolling.
was 100% green, quote unquote, okay, won't be good enough. They'll find another reason. You've just given them life.
Yeah,
You,
there's
you,
always going to
you
be FUD.
right. You don't concede to the enemy. You just don't give ground. That's stupid. Unless you're going to consolidate for some reason, you're going to pull back to shoot forward again. It's just not. It's not. I mean, that's just not good tactics. And I
So
don't. That's my problem. Is I don't see him. I see him as a leader in the movement, and maybe there's some great plan in his brain that he's gonna. But all I see and all anybody else sees is he just conceded like the most simply debunked FUD. He just gave it all the life and he just what you have to do with FUD is you have to starve it of oxygen. Just smother it. Just don't even let it breathe. And he just gave it all the oxygen in the room.
Yeah, maybe he over oxygen. I think I choose to believe he over oxygenated it. He's gonna just
Yeah.
blow it up so big so that it just burns out. I think it's a strategy. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I think it's a strategy. Because just saying no, just saying whatever, these people are idiots. Their voices are louder. Bitcoiner, like being in Bitcoin Twitter, you think that we're a big group. We're a pretty small group still, man. So their voice is a lot louder than ours are, and maybe it's true that somebody has to stand up and just really fight the power.
I'll tell you what. I would take a dozen surfer gyms, a dozen breckies, a dozen Heartland Bitcoins, a dozen um, uh, batters, a dozen U's over.
Oh, thank. I really thought you were gonna leave me out of it.
No, I know. No, over 100 Elons.
Well, yeah,
Seriously.
obviously, fuck Elon, but
Well, that's my point.
I'm
Fuck
still,
them.
I'm
You don't
still
play
with,
their game. In my view, I'm done with it. I'm done with the whole thing.
but I'm still with.
I came to
So
Bitcoin.
are you against Sailor then? Do you are you
I mean,
anti-Sailor?
unless I see something amazing happen here in like the next week or so, like I don't think he's done us any favors. I certainly don't. I really don't. I
No,
think
he
all he's
hasn't.
done is he's opened a pipeline to people. Look, we've especially in my country, we've seen with like with all of the protests that turned into riots and everything else. If you give them an inch, they'll keep taking an inch. They just won't stop. There is no pacifying them. There's always another problem that they want fixed. They by the way, want you to fucking fix. They see a problem and you got to fix it. It's across the board. That's just the way it works, right?
Yeah, for
So
everybody feels
so
that way. Yeah.
everyone else sees a problem and Sailor's got to go fix it. Sailor should be like, "Fuck you. I'm going to go buy some more Bitcoin. Go fuck
Yeah,
yourself."
I know.
That's
Let's
my
be.
take. And I'm
I
not
agree
Micro
with you.
Sailor. I can't make his decisions. I don't own a company that owns billions of Bitcoin. So I understand. I get it. But at the same time, it's sort of like I don't think he did us any favors today. I really do not. I think
No,
what
I
he's
don't
done
know.
is he has shown that if somebody loud enough with enough voice like an Elon could piss and moan, then okay, we have to accommodate to them. We have to kowtow to them. And I think that's a mistake. I think that gives up the game because it next time it'll be what's the next FUD? Roll the dice. Roll Nick Carter's dice. What's the next FUD?
Yeah.
Now we got to deal with that.
Okay. So, dude, you've been okay. You made a lot of good points here.
Huh?
Have you gone down the rabbit hole of the big block wars yet? Because that's a
I
fun
haven't.
one too.
No, I really haven't.
Oh, dude. So this is maybe why you're so heated, right? Because you're like, oh, this is crazy. But this exact thing happened. I think. Oh man, everybody's gonna be mad. I think it was the 2017. It might have
Yeah,
been
go
the
ahead. Go ahead.
2013. But every cycle, there's something big and crazy that happens, and that's where the forks happened. And this is where people say, "Oh, Bitcoin needs to have bigger blocks so that it can handle more transactions." And there was a full-on war so that the people that were signaling for big blocks and the people that were signaling for small blocks, they needed to win, otherwise Bitcoin was doomed. So although it's a battle and it's annoying, it's still a battle that needs to be fought and won in the war that is Bitcoin's takeover of the whole world. So I choose not to be angry at it, but more so just sit back, do my part, and explain it. I guess that's what me and you can do, is just at least share the
Right.
story. And I think Sailor might have a real position here to be one of the fucking frontline warriors and say, all right, you want to talk shit about energy, whatever the fuck, let me put together a council that's gonna take on these this, and then that'll put that whole thing to rest. Because as it stands right now, the big block wars are done. I don't think it'll ever happen again. And then maybe when 2024 rolls around, we won't have to deal with energy FUD anymore. It'll be, this might be 2021's big battle, and I'm
Maybe
excited for it.
it may be.
So yeah.
I would, but I guess here's my thing: is I kind of broke my own rule about not wanting to trust celebrities or to make a hero out of somebody, and I kind of did with Sailor. I think like this is kind of and I've been very heated because it's kind of personal, because what I saw in Sailor was a guy who had the means and the ability to tell everyone to go fuck themselves. And so that to me, especially with as you come into this space, you see that he's one of the big dogs, and we've talked about Sailor before, and how he's sort of like the adult in the room, and he's just, and those are my words, and and so I guess I sort of expected, I don't know, man. I guess I sort of
Well,
expected,
this is kind of an adult reaction to it then. The fuck you, I'm doing what I want. That would be
but
the childish reaction. So maybe this is his role.
no, no, because at a certain point you do need, listen, when your child is having a temper tantrum, you have to be the adult, which essentially boils down to fuck you, you're going to do what I say, right? You can't let a child just get away with bloody murder. And that's what this energy FUD is. It's children. It's children that want to have some sort of purpose in their life, and the only thing they can think of is to just basically ruin everyone else's good time. That's how they're going to be valuable in the universe. That's what they're going to do. And an adult needs to come into the room and say, "You're stupid, and we're not listening to you." That's what needs to
Yeah.
happen. And I just I really, I don't know, man. I thought Sailor was the guy. I thought he was the guy
There
that
is
was
no
gonna
guy,
just,
man.
I know, and I know. And so part of my anger is at myself. It really is. It's at
Ah,
myself for
yes.
trusting another person, and this is whatever, man. It's just me, and that's fine. And I guess I've learned. Now I've learned.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck Elon, fuck
Bitcoin
Sailor.
don't
If Sailor's gonna say something good, fine. I'll go along with it. But until then, Sailor can fuck himself. I don't give a shit. Because you know what? He can't take my Bitcoin, so fuck him. That's
exactly,
what it
man.
is.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. That's what separates Bitcoin from every other shitcoin scam because all the shitcoins are excited to watch the price go up, whereas Bitcoiners truly just want the most honest and real system. It doesn't matter what the price is in fiat terms. All we want is, yeah, sell your coins, Elon, sell your coins, Sailor. I don't think Sailor will sell. I think he really is trying to make a
No, I
point,
think he
but if
genuinely
he did,
believes it.
nope,
I
yeah.
think he's not an Elon. Elon's fiat. Elon is
Elon
fiat.
Elon just hasn't gone down the rabbit hole. That's all it is.
Well, Elon's borderline retarded. I swear to
No,
God. I just
he does. I still stand by Elon is that he's been too the the rabbit hole that me and you have both gone down and to go down. That Sailor went down and he learned everything. Elon just hasn't had the time yet, man. It's like that
Elon
moment you
doesn't do anything in a day, my man. He should have had the Bitcoin standard read already. Like you and
dude.
I, we have a family to feed, we have jobs to do, we have children to raise. I mean, come
Elon's
on.
got a
He's,
few kids and a few
well,
businesses.
fine, but whatever, man. He's got more money than anybody else on the planet. Like he has time. You know what I'm saying? His
That's
time
true.
is secured
He just
financially.
hasn't he hasn't chosen to do that yet. I think what he does because yeah, like you said, as soon as you realize Bitcoin's not about the money, it's about the philosophy and the changing of all of civilization, then yeah, a whole bunch of light bulbs start going off. So once that happens to Elon, it'll be cool. But if it does, we don't know. It has happened to Sailor, which is why it's confusing that he made this choice.
Right.
And
I think that's why it's so painful is because he was saying things like he was just, I don't know, he did an interview like 5 days ago. I saw a clip of it where he was literally calling Bitcoin fuck you money. And he's like, he was spot on, and it was like, God, he's so right. Like he's so right on all this stuff, and it's so great. And then he comes out and he does this, and genuinely, I am more disappointed in Sailor than I ever was in Elon. I could give a shit about Elon. I knew Elon. I mean, he was funny. He was, I still think he's an entertainment value, but I didn't give a shit what he thought about anything. I mean, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. And but Sailor, he was saying things I agreed with, and I personally, I applied significance to him as such. And now he's just sort of, he's just been
we're
so,
all just a bunch of plebs, man. We're all just a bunch
he's
of
so
plebs.
fucking disappointing. He really is, and it's so depressing. It's just depressing, and I'll get over it. Like this is not my permanent state. I've had less than 24 hours to process and ingest it. I'll be over it tomorrow. It'll be fine. But it's just, you just look at somebody who's supposed to be a heavy hitter in the field and they just fucking cave. It's so pathetic. It's just pathetic. That
Dunked
was my
on,
dunk
man.
on a
Dunked
no
on.
coiner, by the
Feels
way.
good, man.
I
Let it
just
out.
dunked on him. Fuck it.
Feels good. All right. Well, I think we nailed a bunch of points here. I liked this episode. I think we can leave
This
it
was
at
the
that.
most toxic I've ever been, and I don't even give a shit, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
because you're becoming the toxicity is starting to flow through you, man. That's what I mean. You're
I
gonna
am
start to
become the
realize,
toxicity.
yeah,
Behold me and tremble.
you're gonna start screaming at BlockFi. Fuck this BlockFi. What are these idiots? What are you
You still
doing?
haven't given me a reason to hate BlockFi.
You're
Like
gonna figure
BlockFi
it out
gave me the best
yourself.
reason. No, you tell me. You tell me.
Yeah, they're stealing everybody's money. That's
How
all.
are
That's
they
all I can
stealing
say.
anybody's? But they gave their own money away like a bunch of
Yeah, I
ninnies.
know that
It's
was stupid.
ridiculous.
It's just an old school system of money that you don't need anymore in the new
Yeah,
world.
we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, like I said, I after that, I mean, I got
I don't
lucky,
want to talk.
honestly, because that happened. That 700 Bitcoin disbursement or whatever that happened like 3 days after I pulled all my stuff out of there. So
Well, that's pretty lucky. Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
Or
that
maybe
was a
you could have
lucky
been one
move.
of the lucky ones that pulled 700 Bitcoin by accident.
I think you had to sign up for something, but whatever,
No,
whatever. All right,
either way. Okay, let's do a price check.
let's do a price check.
Why Bitcoin presents your weekly price check.
Do you have anybody to pimp out today? I didn't put anybody. I don't. Did anybody?
No, not
We can do a
really.
throwback to. Is there anybody you like lately?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you have
Hold
it.
on,
So
hold on.
this price check, I'll just explain.
Let me.
For anybody that's new here, we do a price check once a week. As we all know, the price doesn't really matter. We just do it for fun. Me and Doug both choose a number for what we think the price of Bitcoin is going to be. The following week, we keep points to see who is the bigger man at the end of the year. So far, it's exactly a tie game, I think. It's not a tie game. Doug is winning me by a landslide. We're not sure how that happened. I'm usually more bullish. We're going to have this
All
price
right.
check be presented by.
This price check is not brought to you by Denver Bitcoin.
Okay.
Is a guy
What
named
did they
Adam
do?
O. He is hosting a space right now that is just amazing. Like they're actually talking about the very same thing we're talking about. So he'll probably never listen to this podcast, and I don't even give a shit because he was saying some amazing stuff, and I really appreciate it. So go follow Adam O on Twitter. It's at Denver Bitcoin. You should check that guy out. If you don't follow him already, you should. That's what I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
We
Do
do
you follow
have.
him? Do you follow him?
I'll have to double check. We do have in our Discord. I have a list of great Bitcoin Twitter people to follow, so we'll add them to that list. If you want to join the Discord, you can find it on the website. There's a list of great. I don't know. What do you call Twitter people? Twitterers? Twitterers? Bitcoin Twitter people?
Yeah, there's
Either way, there's a bunch of great people, and yeah, definitely, we'll hook you up if you want them. Why Bitcoin,
right.
Jeff? I hear that guy's pretty good. Bearded Huddle, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's some
Yeah,
weird.
no, he's sketchy, that bearded huddle. I wouldn't trust him.
The toxicity starting to flow.
I
Hey,
wouldn't
just
let
one
him
more
watch
thing.
my kids.
One more thing about. Oh man. Okay, let's do the price check.
All right, so last week we had batters come in at 41,547. I was at 54,310, and you were at 52,088. And I'm going to pull it up right now. By the way, I got a new app. It's actually pretty cool. You should probably check it out. It's called iCurrency.
Okay.
So you can actually like make a list of all the things compared to Bitcoin or compared to the dollar or whatever. It's actually pretty cool.
So, you mean just like regular stuff?
It's just a regular app. You just pull it up. Like I'm trying not to use exchanges essentially, because fuck them.
Okay.
So you get this thing called iCurrency on. I don't know if it's for iPhone, but it's definitely for Android because I'm using it on Android. And you can basically pull up any currency, and then you can compare it to Bitcoin. So I can tell you, how much. Let's see. I could tell you how much Afghanis I could get for a Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So it's just a quick little
Yeah.
converter.
Yeah. It's a nice
Gotcha.
converter. So anyway,
Okay.
so right now USD with my iCurrency app is 38,334.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what
So
I'm showing.
that
38,000.
means batters absolutely knocked it out of the park. with his 41,547. So good job, batters.
Okay, throw him on. So that's 2 for the audience.
Yeah.
Or not
Yeah.
audience. What guests? Guest
Guests.
appearances is beating me too. Uh-oh. That's pretty rough.
Hey, I just had an idea while we were talking. Should we open this to the audience? Should they throw their prediction in for next week?
Yeah, definitely. If you give us predictions, we can have a score kept for the audience. 100%. We can do that, and then maybe we can at the end of the year we'll give you a prize.
Maybe it could be a T-shirt. Maybe you and I could eventually make a T-shirt.
We're working on it. Yeah, we do have it in the works.
Yeah. So let me take 30 seconds. I'll write down my guess for this week. Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea.
Barring any shenanigans with fucking Elon.
I actually have an idea of what's going to happen.
Oh, you do?
I always do, and I'm always wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to say... It's a week from now.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to say, dude, I'm going to do something here. Okay, I'm ready. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, my prediction for next week, and here's my theory. I think we're going to go back down. I think we're going to have another dip. I think we're going to see the 20s next week.
Okay.
I think we're going to see in the... I don't know if it's going to be low as 25, but I think we're going to see... I think we're going to hang out in the high 20s for a while. And then next week at this time we'll be at 33,931.
Even change? Yeah, that's fine. We're not even close. All right, mine, I'm going to go... I want to be bullish. I want to see good things happen, especially seeing as how we're selling our souls here, apparently, Michael Saylor. 46,777. That's where I'm going to go with next week.
46,777.
46,777.
46 and 33. That's a big spread.
That's a big spread. A
lot
of things can happen.
Spread. Yeah.
Yep. So
40, wait, you think it's going to be 46? Is that what you said?
Man, I got nothing. I don't even
46
know
is a weird choice. It's probably going to be exactly that price. I don't know. I always think it's either screaming up or screaming down. People say it's going to go side. Yeah, it's going to go up, down, or stay the same for sure.
You got it. You're so good at this game.
I'm pretty good, yeah.
And everyone listening at home, if you got a different opinion, toss it in that chat down below. Just let us know.
Let us know what your price guesses are. It's just for funsies.
All right. So what else we got to cover? Are we good?
I think that's it for today. I think that's all there is for it. Okay, so what was that? What was the saying that you said? Qui casa or whatever? The Latin thing?
Qui beno.
Qui beno.
I just closed it. Que bono? Hold on. Who benefits Latin? Hold on. Qui bono.
Okay. So guys, as always, why ask what when you can ask qui beno? Huh?
Qui bono.
Qui bono? Okay. That'll do. And oh yeah, bye-bye. Thanks for listening, guys. Nothing but love.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.